Hey, thank you for taking the time to click on today's video. We've been getting a lot of questions with regards to what all of this new information means to the Federal Reserve, seeing as how in February they decided that they weren't going to raise interest rates by 50 basis points, they were going to raise them by 25, and then shortly thereafter we got all sorts of really great information, which ultimately turns out to be really bad information to the Federal Reserve. What do I mean by good information that's really bad? Well, here's the thing. The Federal Reserve is trying to raise interest rates to abate this inflation. And it seems as though Americans are just not ready to stop buying things. Now, I suspect that part of it is because, well, as human beings, as people, and we have families, we have obligations, we have responsibilities, we still have to purchase things, right? It's not like you can go fasting and, start riding a bicycle to work. There's all sorts of things that we still have to purchase on a daily basis. But what's happening is, I think that there has been a shift, and instead of people using disposable income that's coming from their job, they don't have that disposable income anymore. It's finally eroded their savings. And so what's happening now is Americans are still in the habit of spending, but they don't have the money, so now they're putting it on the credit cards. Now, what that's doing is it's actually working against us. It's working against you if you're putting a lot of money on credit cards, a lot of expenses. Because number one, the circling vultures called the credit card companies are absolutely taking you to the cleaners. They are charging you up the yin-yang, as they would say. And so you've got to be extremely mindful that they're making money off from your money, and you're the only one that suffers the consequence. But here's the thing. Because we didn't see inflation move, because we saw retail sales hotter than expected, we saw the producer price index hotter than expected, because we saw the unemployment applications actually decrease instead of increase like they expected, what this is going to require of the Federal Reserve is more pain. More pain coming our direction. More interest rate increases, maybe heavier, hotter rate increases. If not that, maybe longer. And the worst of all, maybe a combination of the two. And so what does this mean for your portfolio? Well, one of two things. If you have a long time horizon, you've got years before you retire, it's a beautiful opportunity. It just simply is a beautiful opportunity to continue to dollar cost average, pumping money into growth-based things. You're 45, you've got 20 years to retirement. Take full advantage of this because the market is going to continue to contract. That is an absolute. The Feds are here to slow the economy, and it's going to take and have negative implications on profitability and corporations, and that's going to affect their stock. But if you're within 5 years of retirement, I implore you to understand that your number one priority is preservation of your principal. You can't afford to lose big, because if you do, then you don't know how much time it's going to take for you to be able to recover. And no matter how much optimism there is in the world today, at the end of the day, you can't will the stock market up. I encourage you to understand, if you don't have a long time horizon and retirement is right around the corner for you, your number two priority is that of income. You see, you can't eat appreciation. If you've got portfolio growth, that's great. I want you to have portfolio growth. But how do you actually utilize growth? The only way you can utilize growth is if you end up selling the asset that has appreciated. And let me ask you a very simple but yet so important question. Do you still own the asset if you sold it? Or have you not given up the asset? Have you not given up the potential of the asset? Because the asset is no longer yours, it's gone. You see, this is the critical, vital shift that we all have to make as we get closer to retirement, taking and moving and transitioning how we have our money invested to things that will create income. So that whether the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates or they're dropping interest rates, whether the economy is expanding and growing or it's contracting and it's getting worse, you know at the end of the day that you have the security of your principal, and you have the security of your principal producing the income that you need. And you see, think about this. If you're near retirement or you're in retirement and you have things that you have to buy, responsibilities that you have financially, and guess what? You really don't want to put things on the credit card, but you have a portfolio that's producing income. Now you have an income source. Now you have the ability, you have a way of being able to pay for those things without cannibalizing your principal, without going into debt and paying these evil vultures the double-digit rates of interest that they're charging you for the use of your credit card and their money. So please take this into consideration, that this good news is not good news. It's bad news. It's giving the Federal Reserve even more resolve to continue to contract the economy. And I know that you saw 2022, and you don't want to repeat that same mistake in 2023. So consider how you're investing your money. Consider whether or not you're on the right track in how you invest that money, and you're setting yourself up for success, and success in retirement. I sure do appreciate you watching this video. If you like this video, I encourage you, give us a thumbs up. Make a comment. Whether you liked the information, whether you didn't, it doesn't matter. I'm always curious as to what the viewers think. So leave a comment. If you like our little videos, hit that subscribe button and that little bell, and we'll remind you every single time we have a weekly video. And remember, I'm Matthew Johnson, and it's up to you to make today a great day. Thanks so much for watching.